How's it going, New World? Sephir here, and today we are back and we are going to be talking about the market and the economy in New World. Yes, I'm going to show you how to make gold in the new patch 1.2. So in order to get into that, we're going to break down the video into a few parts. First, we're going to talk about our predictions from the past going into this patch launch. Then we're going to talk about how we know what is worth money, right? Like where are we getting this information from? How do we find that out? And then we're going to talk about our top 4 items and products to focus on in order to make gold going into the new patch. So that's going to be the breakdown here. So first and foremost, I went ahead and reset my gold. I dumped all my gold on my second account and I just started fresh, right? I'm not counting investments prior made to the patch. I'm just counting things that I'm farming within day. And day 1, I made about 75,000 gold. I know a lot of other people made upwards of 100,000, maybe even more, just on materials and various things. But I'm going to teach you what I'm doing to get that so that you can get some of those same results. And do keep in mind, take this with a grain of salt because results may vary. Your server will be different from mine. I'm on a high pop server and a lot of people care about PvP on the server. A lot of people care about being sweaty on the server. So things are going to be a little bit differently priced, as the pace of like a, low pop or medium pop server will probably be a bit different. But I think the same concept can apply. The numbers will probably just be slightly adjusted. So first we're going to talk about our predictions before the patch. If you saw a couple of my past videos, we talked about, the top things to invest in. We talked about moats. We talked about stone cutting. We talked about trophies. And all of those predictions came true. Trophies are going crazy. Moats are going stable and strong. People need them to make the materials required to enter the dungeons, and stone cutting is shooting through the roof. Some values on some stone cutting gear is going down now that more people are doing ebb and scale missions, because that's where you get the stonecutter's pants. So some of those are going down a little bit on the crafting side, but the actual materials required to create the keys and the arena keys specifically, which is something we'll talk about, have gone up. So now will bring us into our next topic. How do we know what's good? Like, how do we know what is going to be good? A lot of it's going to come from knowledge of researching of what's coming into the game, right? We're predicting, what do I want? What do I want as a player? Ooh, that sounds good. I know that's going to sell for a lot of money. But you can also take a quick peek and snapshot at what is good. If we go here to sell and we go to all items, we can see that there are a few buy orders up in some certain locations, right? So we know that these players are looking for these items, and the prices are irrelevant because all of these prices are ripoffs, I'll tell you that. Because anybody who puts a buy order up knows exactly what they're doing. They're looking for something at a certain price that's very profitable to them that they can resell, flip, and make a good chunk of change off of, right? So this information is just going to be, what do people desire? What do they want right now? And as you can see, there's a recipe for the golden steel storage chest, which if you don't know what that is, that's the Orichalcum recipe. It's got such a low drop chance from chests, but it's pretty crazy if you can get one of those. But we can see everything else in here. So we're looking at trade skill pants, this weaponsmith pants, which is very rare drop from Malevolence. Then we got everything else, trophies, right? Trophies, we're looking at loaded dice, Lucky Loot Trophy, Stacked Deck, Adamant Dust, which is the mining trophies. And we can scroll on to page 2. We can keep looking down. People still want trophies and anything to do with crafting, right? So we know exactly what they want. And anybody can look at this, right? Anybody can take a look at this and figure out what people are wishing to purchase, right? And as we scroll further down, this will bring us into our next topic. You can see some new stuff popping up, timeless shards and a couple other interesting things. So we can get a great idea on the items that big money players desire to get at a low price, right? They want to make a profit off you, so they want to get a quick flip, and you see it and you're like, ooh, 3,000 gold, that's really nice. Like, let me go ahead and pick that up. They're selling it for 6,000. Let's be honest. Like, they're flipping it and making a double profit. So that's going to be the basic fundamentals, right? So information coming from the new patch and information coming from your auction house specifically. Your auction house is going to look different than mine. This is Valhalla. This is a high pop server, so it's going to be a different story no matter where you go. But that should give you a good picture onto like how your economy is working right now. So now we're going to talk about our top 4 going into the new patch and what I have been selling personally to make a lot of money. So the first thing that we'll talk about is trophies. I have sold a lot of trophies. I'm not counting that for the 75k gold here because these are all investments that I did prior to the patch. I'm only counting things that I found like on day 1. So trophies are very high, as you could see from that list. A lot of those items are buy orders for crazy amounts. If I were to type in something like loaded dice, I can see that it's 35k on my server. Could be different on yours, but everybody wants this item, right? Everybody wants more luck in finding items and, you know, valuable things, and people are going to be going for this. And the same goes for something like precision armoring tools, because armor crafting is a high value trade skill right now. 40k for those, so all of this is going to be big money items. Even if I wanted to, not even selling it on the market, I could sell it directly to a buy order for 26 grand right now. So going out and hunting trophies, as we predicted in the past, will still be very strong. It's gonna be strong for a while because the demand is so high. Everyone wants to craft right now, especially with that trade skill aptitude system coming in. So that's gonna be the first one of my top 4, and these aren't really gonna be in any particular order, to be fair. I say top 4, but they're all really, really strong. But I think that the biggest money value, I guess, would be trophies. And so next we're going to go on to number 2, which is going to be tier 4 trade goods. If I take a look at something like star metal ore, I can see that its price is pretty consistent right now, 0.7 per. When I mine star metal, I get between 20 and 40. So you can imagine every time I mine a star metal node, I'm getting 40 gold, which is very nice. But the better part of this is that you can turn this into star metal ingots, which will sell for even more. They're like 7, 8 here. And then the big product that everybody wants right now, which is orichalcum ingots. If I could spell this, orichalcum ingots correctly. This is going to be the big one that people are after. They're at 15 gold right now. So tons of people are buying up these materials because you need star metal to make that. Or you can use platinum now, which is very interesting. And then we have other things like the lodestones, which is a tier 4 ingredient, and stone cutting, which we'll talk about as a special section on this. Weird wood is in high demand because people are trying to make products right now, right? So any tier 4 ingredient or tier 4 or tier 5 product, which is going to be used to make these, that's all going to be highly valuable at the moment. The next thing we're going to talk about is something very new, and this is where I've actually been making a bulk of my gold. So it's going to vary on your server. I say top 4 loosely because your demand on your server could be anywhere, but we're going to talk about timeless shards. Timeless shards are insane right now. If I were to type in something like timeless shard, let's see, timeless great axe shard, right? I can see that there are 2 on the market for 10k, and if I look at the buy orders for these, I can see that people are paying cash right now 4.5k for them. Timeless shards are interesting because every boss in a dungeon should drop you a timeless shard. There are named monsters that will also drop you timeless shards, and the timeless shard that you get is entirely random. So when you get a shard, it could be something undesirable like timeless spear shard. I'm guessing that's going to be a little low, 775, right? So this one's not too high, and if I look at a buy order for it, people are paying about 500 gold, which is still nice, but the range will vary. And then we'll talk about why that varies. But again, going back to the sell category, if we scroll down here, we can see a lot of those top ones. So if we come across our first timeless shard, which will probably be somewhere on page 3, we can see that Great Axe is going for the highest right now. And then we have a couple of other buy orders I saw for like timeless shard for a ring recipe. Jewelry is hot right now, so people are wanting timeless ring, timeless amulet, timeless earring. All of those things are going to be in high demand. As you can see, the page is just flooded with this. And then we'll have something that we talk about, which would be armor pieces with timeless shards. There are certain armor categories that are good. For example, people really want medium leather gloves here, as you see this timeless leather glove shard, because they're trying to balance that medium set build for DPS characters. So you got to think, what are the most players in the game right now, right? They're Great Axe, and they want that medium armor set. They want medium gloves with gravity well perk or whatever it is on it. So those are going to be in high demand, and we can see that reflected on the market here. So we know exactly what people are after and what they're buying. And again, these prices are bare minimums. They're like, hey, let me buy this off of you so I can flip it real fast and make a profit, and I just made money off of you. So you can get even more for this. Like if I were to type in timeless ring shard, I bet you it would be way over the 3K that they're asking. Yeah, 6K right here. So it can be quite a lot. So people will actually buy this out. I experimented with it a little bit. I put a timeless ring shard up for 6K. Instantly got sold in like 30 minutes or something like that. I did the same with a pair of like light pants or something like that because it's another desirable one, and a couple others, and they were also selling. So this is going to be a very nice time to chime in on the timeless shard market, no pun intended, but it will be a good opportunity right now because as time goes on, you will see the demand for this stabilize, but since it's new and fresh, it's going to be up really high. And then lastly, we'll talk about stone cutting. Stone cutting is going to be very important. This is going to be number 4. Stone cutting is crazy right now. If I look up the price of lodestone, if I can spell that correctly. Oh boy. Lodestone. Here we go. All right, we got it. So this is going to be 0.65 per lodestone. So it's in that tier 4 material category. But if I look up something like lodestone brick, which is something that people will be buying as well, I can see that it's very high up there. No one wants to buy this. Or no one wants to farm this, sorry. People want to buy it. They don't want to farm this. But they need this now because they changed the way that the arena keys are functioning. They don't require fragments from portals anymore. They don't require corrupted fragments. They instead require runestones, and everybody needs lodestone to make the runestones. And on top of that, requiring the runestones, they also require 50 lodestones. So this is going to be very nice time for stone cutting. Anybody who is a stone cutter can make profit off of this. You can make profit off of stone brick as well. Even stone blocks is like all of this stuff. No one wants to go out there and hit rocks, and they're going to be lazy, and they're going to pay tons of money for this good stuff right now. And with a good stone cutting set on, if you have all 5 pieces of the stone cutting set, when you go to create those stone blocks, stone bricks, lodestone, you're going to multiply your product by a lot, and you're going to get a lot of value and for your time, right? So I could go out right now and hit rocks. Like if I just wanted to hit rocks, I would actually make quite a bit of gold. I would probably make 10,000 gold plus in an hour easily, just going out and hitting rocks wherever I may be, right? And this is going to be the nutty part of it because all of these farms are going to be fantastic wherever you go. So in addition with that, on stone cutting, you can still make a lot of money from moats. Farming the moats is going to be fantastic because no one wants to buy them. The elemental animals went up a tiny bit, but not too much. People do need those for their attunement potions every day, and pretty much everything's going to be functioning around the gypsum system now and the new end game, which is basically, I guess, not new, but more or less the same, spamming dungeons, because that's where you're getting a lot of those timeless shards and goodies from. So that's going to really start to shape the market here, and it's going to allow you to make quite a large amount of gold if you get on this stuff right now. So that's going to be my top 4 in summary. It's going to be trophies, tier 4 materials of any kind, timeless shards, and stone cutting. Anything related to stone cutting, whether that be components like the corrupted rune, or moats, or stone blocks, lodestone bricks, whatever that may be, it's going to be up there in demand because people just want to spam dungeons right now. They don't want to farm. So they would just want to get all this stuff off the auction house. And there's tons of players out there with millions of golds just coming from, especially a lot of the guilds, that since that housing thing, the tax got reduced, everyone's put that tax up to max. So players are only paying 60 gold. They don't mind, but the people are getting max profit from the actual game itself. So there's tons of inflation of gold coming into the economy, as well as the gold coming from the Christmas presents every day, 100 gold from each of those things that you loot. And people are starting to do more outpost rush, which gives you gold because they need to do it for gypsum, cash, and all that stuff. So all of these things are going to inflate the economy with gold right now. So people got money to spend, and this is how you're going to get that money from their pocket and into your pocket. All right, I hope this advice helps you going forward here into the first week. I'll try to do like maybe a weekly or bi-weekly update on market analysis just to try to help players make profit. I know a lot of you have commented in my videos that you've made a considerable amount of gold, and I love to see that. I love to see players getting profit and gaining ahead in the community. That's fantastic. I just want to do whatever I can to help you guys out, and it's cool to see the results and kind of share that knowledge. All right, once again, thanks for your time, everyone. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, like, and hit the bell button down below. We also have the join button if you wish to become a member today, and a Discord in the description link, which I will put down low, that you can join that and kind of interact with our community if you wish. Thanks for your time, and we will catch you in the next video.